Hey everybody, quick introduction today because we are going through my epic of Ride the Teacups here and walking through. There's a lot to get through, so let's get started right away. First, let's go with the elephant in the room. This title page is awful. I've got lots of things in the work for UX. I haven't finalized the design that is high on my list of to-do. Is to overhaul this ultimately, just to give you an idea. I actually am thinking about showing, if you guys know the layout of Disneyland a little bit, you walk into Fantasyland, the teacups on the right, on the other side of the carousel, and Mr. Toad. So I'm actually thinking about having side by side, let's see, my video's reversed, so carousel and Mr. Toad over here, and as you scroll down, they spread apart, and then an element of the actual teacups floats in from the bottom in between, and then you actually scroll down to the rest of the page. Make it a little bit epic and have all kinds of fun with that. Just for the front page, a lot of people who are coming here from things like social media and other links will be going directly to those blog articles, so I don't mind taking up the front page with a little bit of show for fun, because it won't be the direct landing page. Other ideas I had was actually just to make it look like Disney Plus, have the set of different categories and things you can look at right here on the front page, and go from there. So, a couple of ideas running around. I know this front page, not terribly impressive. Let's move on. It's grabbing 6 totally random blog articles. Let me get my video out of the way here. 6 random blog articles, and then throwing it up on top. I can reload this page. See, and I can see I have different articles in different order each different time that I do this. So it's grabbing 6 different articles, totally random to let you see. You can also see in the background the little bit of a zoom effect that's appearing on the background video. Just links to the social channels and things. And then finally, my little Mickey. I love this thing. It has to go away because it just doesn't fit anywhere. But I love it because it's pure CSS. There are no images in here. And if you want to actually see some real magic, we can track the colors. So let's watch up here. The red goes around the circle of the ear and then down the side of the face. And then across the other ear. And then the top part doesn't work because that's not how circles work. And I could fix it, but since I know it's going to go away, I won't. But just to show you that I'm not making it up. No, that's pure CSS. That's a black circle on top of a slightly larger colored circle that's going off and doing rotations. That is timed very specifically with its rotation to match the rest of the circle's rotation so that the colors actually spin around correctly. So, totally CSS, I promise. Not faking that. And then my footer that goes on the page, just the links, the different social things and everything. A little minor animation on the hovers. We have blog entries on here. See, you've got my ad that has popped up over there. All the different blog entries. I love these things. Enjoy these because the teacups will be going away, but the teacups actually rotate and spin on the hover effect, including you see the little teacup handle moving across. The other thing is this is a CSS handle. I could have just used like a GIF or something, that has a little bit of transparency to do the outline of the handle. But if I did that, you could see in the middle there would be just that 1 or 2 frames where it becomes clearly paper thin. And my handles at no point are paper thin. Check this out. So it's actually a changing CSS element. Right now it's curved with a little bit of a diagonal with the curves over there. In the middle, it will actually change into a rectangle with slight border radius on each side, and then on this side, it just reverses that side. So at no point are my teacup handles paper thin, and I didn't want to lose that. So maybe a shadow effect would have helped a little bit. But anyway, I love the animation, but it just doesn't fit. So the teacup is going to go away. Enjoy it for now. I have also this little character here. This is Pinocchio. He pops up out of the top of the screen. I love the little feature that moves, but only if you actually sit there for a while on it. Most people won't know it's there. Little fun things like that. If I refresh this page now, it is Elsa. Notice that she is not overflowing out of the right side of the box, only out of the top. Same thing with Captain Jack here, and with Minnie Mouse here, and the White Rabbit, and Donald, and all kinds of cool stuff. So I had a lot of fun putting this box together. Randomizes those each individual time, and then returns everything it is that it needs. As far as how it's actually, I wanted that actually. As far as how it's actually getting everything, we can look in the network tab and specifically see, let's look for all. All right, so I am getting back my data, and I can actually see I am on page 1. Of course, the landing page, there's 11 results per page. And I can see down here at the bottom, I actually have 2 pages because I have more results than that. But it's only returned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's giving me 10 results instead of 11 because it knows I'm on page 1. And page 1 has this featured issue that goes across. Future pages don't have that, just the first one. So it's nice the pagination actually controls all of that type of stuff. And then, of course, the the ad that sits there in the middle. All kinds of fun as well. I can search for anything like chalk. If I want to see chalk, I see that I've got 2 different articles referencing chalk inside of there. It's pretty quick. And then I'm also using a CSS grid for each of these entries. And when I don't have as many results, it doesn't put my grid item down here. It knows to move it back up here into where it actually belongs. And Google didn't deliver an ad this time. And that's fine. I'm sure no one's too upset that the ad doesn't show up. And then I can also get in and see just different things like the category, which links in with that. There's only one Disney history. So 2 safety tips, and you can see those changing all the time as well. The text is changed from newest or whatever to featured, from featured that's there, and then the best match will show up. Oh, no chalk on safety tips. Best match will show up if you're actually searching. So just a couple neat things with that. If we actually get into the blog articles, I've just got a very simple setup, column display. Search, which will bring you back to the search with that search parameters inside of there. Titles, links to everything. This will bring you back to the search, just showing my articles. A couple of ads that are sitting here, and then the actual article itself. You can see a couple of ads that fit inside, and then just all of that fun stuff that sits in there. A couple of things I want to call out. You've just got the category that sits, a cool sharing icon, which will let you share this article anywhere it is that you want, or email it. Big add individual tags, which are lots of fun. And then down at the bottom of each article, I have different things that are related to whatever article you're actually looking at, which is pretty neat. So it's looking for things in like the same category, similar tags, things like that to actually look for it. I also have different pieces of park info here. I love these tiles, lots of fun. Hover effect, you can see I'm actually adjusting the Z-axis, not the Z-index, but the Z-axis for 3D effects for the wobble. So you can see things like the word adorable snowman frosted treats, the title have popped out toward you in the Z direction a bit. The text has done the same thing, but not as much. The little food icon has popped out a tiny bit. This is at its, at the back. And then same thing with these guys kind of popping out a little bit. And you can see it on the wobble. Look at the space of the gray or the dark blue versus everything else. So just a couple of fun things you can do with that. Had a lot of fun putting that together for each of the individual cards. Same thing here. You can filter through all the different types that exist throughout the entire park, or you can do a search and then Dumbo will show you everything as well for that. Getting back into here, and then just inside of each one of these individual pieces looks very similar with the big piece up on top and then the sides and the bottom. I didn't put any ads at the top. I didn't think customers wanted to see that right away. Users wanted to see that right away. Again, you can see this component is using React Router to know where it is, so I don't have to pass it any props. I just have to say I want the share here, and it will automatically detect and go with everything. Just have the video, a couple of different links back to everything in California Adventure, everything in Pixar Pier. You can visit the actual website of this place, so that if you want to make your dining reservations or whatever for different places or get more info, you can. Related blog articles to this park info piece, and then just a couple details. It's a quick service restaurant. You can eat outdoors, and you have to have park admission. and it cost a little bit. So, and then just different history first opened there. So, pretty basic stuff on the park info. It's also worth noting that each of these different things, the entire page is fully responsive. So let me actually rotate this a little bit or make it fit my visible window. So on an iPad, I've actually moved the menu down to the bottom and given it these individual buttons, which should be at your thumbs, so that you can go through those. Also, it's gone to 2 wide. If I rotate it a bit, let's see. I've got the 2 as well. The featured is taking up the full length of both wideness. Is that a word? I don't know. But you can see it is action responsive the way that it's expected to on something like a smaller phone. Same thing, you're still able to see, still has some white in front, so it blurs out that character, which is still popping out the top, but not out the side, and not losing any of that. So everything is still displaying correctly on here. And then if I want to get really crazy, let's see, I don't want to get that crazy, but 1200, something like that. You see it's gone into 3 columns, so fully responsive for everything it is that you would expect. Same thing with the actual blog articles themselves. If I get into a phone view, it's still linking absolutely everything here for me. It just stacks it instead of anything else. And then in something, and then same thing, icons at your fingertips. I always wanted to be the first article or first button to be the blog, and the second one to be the park info, third one to be games and weather. So you'll see I have that in this order here, but as I rotate it, I've actually switched. So imagine actually physically rotating a piece, right? So if I have it here and then I change it, you would expect, I still have blog here on the left, park info on next to it, and then games and weather. But as I rotate it a little bit, look, if this was actually rotating up, you'd expect it to be at the top. Clicking my OBS window, and it's not. I've switched the order to make sure that everything shows up the way, and then of course all the icon rotates as well. So just some fun things with the mobile devices and the iPads as well. They just end up being bigger buttons for that instead of taking up all of the screen space. So I spent a lot of work making every single individual page fully responsive. Same with these. And then, of course, you had that cool wobble effect that you saw earlier that you can't hover on a tablet, but what you can do is just click that on anywhere that's not words, and you can see that cool wobble effect on your phone as well, which gets pretty fun. So, yeah, let's get out of that responsiveness here. Seen those. I have a couple games. If you've looked elsewhere on the blog, you've seen the actual focus with a very simple markdown set of instructions in my modal. 60-second recollection is I've just put all of the games. Right now it's set up as a high score table, so you can see it in order of who did what. You can also sort it by when their episodes aired and click in and get just a very basic rundown. There's that share component again for how many points you got. And then since 60-second recollection itself is a React project, I was able to very easily import some of the styles and things. So you can see like the big yellow outside borders with the purple inside borders kind of match the scorecard and things up here because I was able to just steal the CSS from it. So different games and things like that are sitting up in here. Weather doesn't exist yet. It's coming. And then I do have the ability to sign in. So this is also my custom modal, I should say, while I'm here. Rather like that, not using a React Bootstrap modal or anything like that, using my own. So lots of fun stuff. I will log in, and now it actually knows it's me. A couple of things happen when I'm logged in. My ad is gone, and if I get into the blog, all of my ads here are totally missing. So I have a permission of ad-free viewing, very large set of permissions that I have access to change here. So I can actually get into the service menu, which, by the way, is not accessible. If you're logged out, it requires you to log back in, and if I can't, it just sends me back home. Other neat thing, just while I'm here, if I hit sign in, See, it's got me in the login screen, and then it knows where to return me back on the page. So return to /blog. It's the rest of that URI. So don't ever want you to lose your place if you hit that login button. But I will head into service and see my admin area. Individual blog posts to see all of the lists, their state, and just some basic details on each one of them. And then if I get in, I've actually created this blog editor from scratch. I know that there are custom solutions provided by things like Gatsby. I didn't want to use them. I wanted to learn how to do it myself. So one of the things that I wanted to do was use Markdown, just because it's very simple, very efficient, and small. But so one thing Markdown doesn't let me do is this, a preview of a video that I can click in and just start watching it. Markdown doesn't have a way to let me do that. So what I've done is, it also doesn't let me just insert ads into the middle of my Markdown, and I wanted to be able to do that manually. So I added the ability to add sections. This part isn't terribly pretty, but it hasn't been a priority because I'm literally the only one that sees it. Until now, when you see it, so, you know, there it is. But I can add a text box area, I can add an image, I can add a video, I can add a quote, I can add an ad. That was too many ads. I can add this cool Amazon text thing. So the text itself is just straight Markdown. Oops, 8 cool I am. Right, just straight Markdown, simple editor. The images here, I have the ability to open up my images with my individual piece. So this is also custom image creator. All of these are being hosted on Amazon. Amazon's S3 bucket. Amazon actually sets up a thumbnail issue for me and my regular sized image, because I don't want to eat up everybody's data if they're looking at a big list of just all kinds of stuff. For example, if I wanted to, let's see, I hope this is an appropriate image. Let's say that I wanted to add a new image here. So I've got my drag and drop area. I can just get in here, drag that in. Don't be inappropriate. Thank you. And it lets me do this. I can rename it if I want it something other than live time. I can tell it which bucket I want it to put it in. I can tell it if it's a header, add an optional description, and then if I got this from somebody else that requires attribution, I can put those in as well, and it'll put them in underneath as a subtitle, a caption. That's the word I'm looking for. So I'm just uploading this one image. The back end will actually split it into a full-sized image and a small thumbnail, and upload both into the correct Amazon buckets and get those sent out. And then based on what it actually needs to do, the back end will select the correct IAM personality for Amazon and use those credentials, which are of course hidden from the user completely. So I can do that. I'm not going to clutter up my database with different images, but just very simple to grab anything that I want. You know, I can, my search is functioning correctly, and I can just decide to throw this in. See, it circles up in green just to call it out a little bit that you've actually selected it, and that's the image I want, and it'll throw it in. YouTube videos, again, really simple. Just give it an ID. It will spit out the video for you. So let's say I want this one. Please don't be inappropriate. Festa airplane. Okay, so apparently we can have a summer package vacation. I guess I was searching for vacations somewhere. But let's see, I can just throw in that, and now I have that video locked right in. Yeah, I don't need that. The quote. I like the quote module that I built up here. Is one of the early things that I did. We'll have Tigger. Tigger's cool. And it's just a fun, different way to have a quote set up. And it moves 3D. I hope that whistle didn't hurt anybody's ears listening to it. But anyway, it's fun. And again, for mobile, since you can't hover, you can tap. And with a mouse click, it'll stay in that cool 3D position. I've inserted an ad, and then I have these cool guys. So I was having trouble getting just like a list of ads from Amazon because the way that Amazon implements it is not a way that React likes to implement it. So let's just grab a couple of things from Amazon here real quick. Let's look at resumes for dummies. So what I've actually done is I can use my affiliate link here and grab the text and the image, just paste it into there, build my parameters, and now I have my resumes book there. And then I can look for, you know, it's a Disney site, right? So I can look for anything Disney and say, ooh, that looks like fun. I want to create a custom ad for that also, and I can get in, build that param, and then I can end up putting this wherever it is that I want. And I have my own custom ad specifically for whatever it is that I'm talking to, without having Amazon trying to do document.body append and rights and everything else after React is done, because it just doesn't like it. I can adjust the title to whatever I want. And do that. I can see, just based off of Amazon's SEO, titles really should be around 12 words and 60 characters. I'm not quite there yet, so it's keeping track of that for me. And with my URI, I want it to be roughly the title, so instead of typing it out again, I can just generate it and be set with that. I can choose the author if it's not me. The status is displayed here. I can set the publication date and time. And get that set. I can save this. I will not be saving this. I can delete it, and I can revert it to a draft. So the delete button actually changes the status to delete up here, and doesn't actually delete it from the database. There's another permission that lets you view deleted items and permanently delete them. That's just for the admins. So, but nobody else other than an admin has the ability to view deleted items. My list of categories, and obviously I can just select whatever it is that I want that's appropriate, and then tags. So comma separated values, put them in individually, get that done. So it's alphabetized everything for me and thrown them in. Also have the ability to just remove anything it is that I don't actually want here. Featured image is pretty cool too, so I can get in and adjust this. This is the same image model you saw before, but now it's only showing me the header images so that my aspect ratio stays correct. And I can change those. I can add a background image. Actually, I don't have background images. It's coming soon. But I can also go through and just remove the image if I want it totally gone, or get in and select whatever it is that I want. So totally customized blog editor. Let me get out of here because I don't want to save any of that. And goes in. You'll see basically the same thing for the park info editor. A little bit different because I have 6 different pieces that I'm doing all at once and smashing them together, because each park has different attractions. Each park has different restaurants, and each park has different shops. The Disneyland area has various hotels, Disney themed, and they call them good neighbors, ones that aren't owned by Disney. Each park has different lands, and then there are locations, and locations would just be the 3, the 2 parks in the downtown Disney area. And so each different one just has its own way of getting everything. So does this have a monorail stop? Yes or no? The address of the area, just a description, unique slug, and those type of very simple things. See right here, I have information sources, my bottom item, just in case I'm taking from any other site or research, you can see where it's coming from. If I say there's a monorail stop and go back down, now it wants to know where the monorail stop location is, and it's marked as a required field. If I try to save anything with missing required fields or with errors, you can see very clearly this one's bright red. I know that this one ends up being required. Same thing if I don't have anything in any of the other required fields, it will read them out for me. And at any point I can just clear out the errors, but it still won't let me submit it, and just make it a little easier to look at. So wanted to make the error handling very, very easy. So yeah, lots of fun with that. So let's get back out of there. I have, I don't think my permissions users is set here, no, so there's a not there, but I do have the ability to see all of my users and adjust their permissions. So let me not be in that area so that I can not show you all of my users' emails, address, and expose any of that. But there we go. All right. Back to the page. So this is my user. I skip past the list for you, and I can see all the permissions and things that I have access to, and a list of a lot of the permissions that actually exist inside of here. So just a really simple setup, but you can see there are loads of permissions and things set up inside of the system. And then, let's see, we have 60-second recollection categories. This is the game show that I run on YouTube. It also has a spot on the portfolio because it's a React project. All the different categories I can pick from, I can sort it by the difficulty, and you can see the little icon here showing me difficulty, high to low, low to high, all that stuff. And then does that for me. I can also sort them by name. If I just want them alphabetically, I can create a new category and its difficulty level right here from the list. These don't actually have detailed views because this is it, pretty much, at least for now. I may include that later. And then the actual games themselves, I can see each different game that's actually been set up, what the round score was, the total, which is not stored but instead is calculated, and whether I've manually validated the game. I don't want people to be able to create games and just set up their own high scores. So in addition to creating the entry, I have to actually go in and validate it, and that's a different permission as well. And then I can get into any of these games, see it's validated. I can watch it, just make sure I have the right thing, reset the player that's there. Reset the YouTube ID, which again is this actually uses a fun helper function. If I copied the entire YouTube ID and pasted it, only gives me the ID, or I pasted the whole URL, and it's giving me just the ID. The premiere date is going to be the same date function you saw on the blog, which I think is a date picker, and then all of the categories and things, and then the points that they've earned for each. So lots of fun with that. I also have some contests and things set up, so I can go through and see and set all the different contest entries if we end up having one, along with some local regulations just for my information as I'm building things. So really lots of fun to have with this site. So Ride the Teacups does a lot. A lot of it is behind the hood, behind the scenes and all of that. I can sign out, just return myself to the home menu because I was in a private area. So yeah, RideTheTeacups.com. Thanks so much for watching. Hope it's been fun. Sorry for the length, but like I said, this site is kind of my baby and does a lot of cool stuff behind the hood. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.